Hey guys, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Today, I'd like to bring you another video, another small guide. This one is how to play Kharazim. Kharazim is the newest support in the game, is a melee support. Plays very uniquely. There isn't many heroes, especially many supports, who play like Kharazim does. He has a lot of sustain in the form of his healing, and he has a surprising amount of self-healing, as well as, compared to most supports, I would say an incredible amount of burst damage and just damage overall. So what we're going to go over today is we're going to go over in my opinion, the most fun, most efficient support healing build for Kharazim. So at level 1 you want to take Transcendence. This means that every third attack you deliver will deliver a small heal to either you or your allies, depending on who has the lowest percentage health. So for instance, if you're at 100 and Diablo's at 98, you'll heal Diablo, but of course Diablo will have higher health than you. A little tip here is when anyone gets damaged, you'll see an icon beneath them, and that's who the heal is going to go on to. That is also the same range as your Breath of Heaven, always incredibly close to it. So at level 4, you want to take Overtake, and a lot of people go the Protective Shield, and that is a viable secondary trait to take, but with the build that you got, unlike Overtake, it means you can get a lot more basic attacks off, which means that you can get a lot more healing off. And in my opinion, especially in this game, the way the meta is at the moment, healing is a lot more important than shields, particularly on a character like this, where your burst healing with the ultis you get isn't really that much of a problem. So just to go over a few combos how far you'll be at this point, you can use Deadly Reach to mean that your auto attacks hit significantly faster. This is how fast they normally hit, this is how fast they hit with Deadly Reach. So you can get a lot more, and they will proc Transcendence, so you can get a lot more healing off in that state. And as a result, that's a lot of surprisingly quick burst healing, particularly if you're against someone who doesn't hit abilities in one big hit. Someone like Valor or Reyna is incredibly effective against. Your Breath of Heaven, at this point, will be hitting for a significant amount, but not an amazing amount. Particularly when the level 7 talent, which we'll go over right now, the level 7 talent you want to take is Echo of Heaven. That means that after a 2-second delay, it'll heal 50% more. And you see this in a little cast bar that appears at the bottom. Press W, little cast bar appears. When that finishes, it goes off again. So just a nice little thing. And it means that you can stay near your allies and do some crazy nice stuff with that. So a couple of things to be wary of at this point is don't overextend. You have Radiant Dash, which allows you to jump to an ally or an enemy, and you can escape from positions. You can also use this to get behind an enemy to force a body block, or to combine this with Deadly Reach to make sure that you can get a lot of attacks off quickly, but don't overextend. I would say never use both of these charges unless you are using the last charge to escape from somewhere. Always have one charge left. Other than that, at this point, just play kind of cautious. Don't be afraid to pop Deadly Reach and attack the hero. Also, don't be afraid to pop Deadly Reach and attack the minions. The healing you'll get out of Deadly Reach, it's more important that you use that to get healing off and not to get damage off at this point. So at level 10, both ultis are kind of viable. 7-sided Strike is very, very good, but I prefer Deadly Palm. Divine Palm. It's incredibly short range, as you can see here. Like, if I'm here, I cannot heal Malfurion with it, and I'm quite a distance away from Malfurion. But if you can combine it with a Radiant Dash, you can dash to someone closer, and then throw up Divine Palm on them, just so you know how it works. For 3 seconds, it lasts for 3 seconds. If 3 seconds finishes, the effect is no longer viable, and thus they will die. But if they are killed in that 3-second window, they will be put into stasis, where you can't be damaged and you can't do anything. And then after that's finished, they'll be healed for a significant amount, approximately half the health ball of an assassin. And as I say, it's incredibly short range, so you're going to need to either prepare to use it, or have some crazy good Radiant Dash plays. My biggest piece of advice I can give you using this ult would be to prepare who you're going to use it on, and then make sure, because you want to use it on a tank, preferably. So know who you're going to use it on, and then be in a position to use it on them before they go down. Don't try and use it reactively, try and use it preemptively. In my opinion, it's better to cast it on someone and then it doesn't get procced than to not cast it on someone at all. Yeah, just be careful with it. Don't spam it randomly, and don't use it when they're above half health. If you use it above half health, the chances are it will, even if they keep getting fully damaged, it will just fade before they actually die, so don't use it there. At 13, you want to take Fist of Fury. This is, of course, stacking with your Overtake and just allows Deadly Reach to be a lot more effective. Lasts a lot longer, and because it lasts a lot longer, you're going to get a lot more heals out of it. So, at Deadly Reach at this point in the game, you're going to want it to use it entirely for the healing, unless you can get an incredibly good chase going on. So when one of their team engages, if it's an Illidan or a Tyrael, or even a Johanna or a Leoric, don't be afraid to just pop Deadly Reach and just attack them. The amount of healing you'll get off will make it worth it, even though you won't be damaging their assassins. In a team like this, or in a team where Kharazim really shines. You really want to be a kind of you want to extend the fights as long as possible, and getting the full duration off of Deadly Reach, getting the full amount of heals off of it, is the best way to go about that. At level 16, I like Circle of Life. A lot of people can take Blazing Fist because it means that you can Deadly Reach a lot more often, and some people even take Soothing Breeze. I would say Circle of Life is probably going to be your go-to talent. Blazing Fists, if you really lack damage and really want to get as much damage out of it as possible and your healing isn't really much of an issue. And Soothing Breeze if they have a surprising amount of CC. Remember, it does move blinds, which is quite nice, so if you are up against a Johanna or a Lily and you're on your team as like Reynas and Illidan's and Valors, you can take Soothing Breeze just to get rid of blinds, which is always quite nice. But I think Circle of Healing is very good. Remember, Circle of Healing will mean that your second heal will hit for a lot more, so make sure you're trying to get in range of people. It stacks, so if you get everyone in range of your Soothing Breeze, of your Breath of Heaven, get everyone in range of it, the second heal will hit 50% more of the original heal. So if there's 5 people in range and it hits 50% more, the second heal will also hit 50% more, but that obviously will be reduced by 50%. So at level 20, you want to take... What do you want to take at level 20? You want to take... come on, Storm Shield. Storm Shield is really, really good. It's a very nice talent you can take overall. You can take Peaceful Response if you're really having a hard time getting Divine Palm off. But, again, I would say not having it is a pretty... Like, using it is obviously amazingly useful and will win you games. But not using it and you win the fight anyway isn't too bad. So Peaceful Response if you're having a really hard time actually getting it off. Epiphany, I would say no, unless you really are finding yourself overextended and a lot of the time, which I find incredibly difficult to do as Kharazim in the late game. And if you're not having a problem with either of those two, Storm Shield. And if you're ever in doubt, Storm Shield. Just make sure you use it when you're in range of everyone. The range on it isn't that big, but it's surprisingly big. So before a team fight, even in the middle of a team fight, just pop it, and if you're in the lead, you'll most likely win fights if you have this talent. So a few tips with Kharazim is, as I say, always keep 1 charge of Radiant Dash to escape. That's why a lot of people will take the 3 charge talent, just because that means they have more chance of having that one for escape. Breath of Heaven, use it when there's loads of people nearby, and be wary of everything it does. Remember, it does give a movement speed boost, so if you're running away from someone, pop it. You and anyone around you will be able to run away slightly faster. 10% feels like you're running incredibly, so much faster than when you're running away. And Deadly Reach, just make sure you get the heals off, don't be too worried about the damage. A couple of tips that I can give you is, if you use Deadly Reach and then Radiant Dash on an enemy, the basic attack you hit instantly will proc the Deadly Reach, and that means that you'll gain the movement speed boost, you will start hitting them for a load more, and you'll be able to get like a lot more off. So if you know you're going to Deadly Reach on the person that you're dashing to, use it before. As far as Deadly Palm goes, don't be afraid to just run through people using Breath of Heaven to get to them or something. Just all kinds of things, like making sure you get that off when they're about 20% or lower HP is really, really big. If you see moves like Flame Strikes or Blizzards or stuff like that and you know they're going to hit, use it on someone. Because if you can kind of nullify the effect of that massive burst, you can really get a nice amount of escape, a nice amount of damage from it through proxy, so to speak. Because that person's alive, they deal a lot more damage. Don't overextend. Remember, you're not a DPS. Don't play like a DPS. Only get close to the enemy when you want to get Deadly Reach off. If you don't, stay back. Auto attack the persons in your back line. Don't be afraid to use Deadly Reach on the person in your back line, but also don't be afraid to use it on the tank. Remember, when you attack someone, you want to have the mindset that, am I going to get the most number of attacks off on this person? Don't use it on someone that has Bolt of the Storm. Don't use it on Valor. Don't use it on all kinds of people. Make sure you're going to get the most attacks possible out of it. Storm Shield, make sure you pop it when everyone's taking damage, and you should be fine. I think Kharazim's an incredibly fun character to play. After a few games, you'll really start to get to grips with him. It took me a few games to do it, and once you really understand him, you can make some crazy, crazy plays with it. Remember, he has no stealth detection. He cannot get anyone out of stealth. You cannot Radiant Dash to a stealth target. Breath of Heaven does not do any damage, and Deadly Reach requires you to basic attack someone. You cannot get anyone out of stealth unless you take a stealth-based talent like Reveal or something, which you can take. Level 4, there's a Reveal, Foresight, but I'm not really a massive fan of it. So that's how to play Kharazim. I'm not amazing at this character, in all honesty. I have a real hard time getting Deadly Palm off, and yeah, it's just quite a difficult character to play, but I have a lot of fun playing him. I think he's a really fun character to play, and I really think you gain a real idea of how to play defensively when you play as Kharazim. When you play really well with him, you can carry games, and he's one of the only supports I've found that you can do that on. So please give him a go. He's the newest hero. Rexar's coming out soon. I'm going to do loads of videos on him because he's my favourite hero in the game so far. So thanks very much for watching. I have been Mr. G, and I will see you next time.